Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Azure Dreams Rock Top Random Toolkit 2 State Display Edition Tournament. We are currently in week 2, and this is a loser round 1. So, tonight joining me will be Septic Tank. He is currently getting our runners counted down. While he does that, we'll go over a bit of the rules. Most of the actually all of the random toolkit 1 rules still apply, so you're going to get a random familiar, 4 random starting items, including a random egg. Spell levels are going to level up and all of that good stuff. We have added spell balls can be random elements. We have also added starting with a blue collar, so there's potential for some fusion shenanigans. And probably most interesting, though I don't think we've seen a ton of it yet, is the go up traps have been converted to go down traps. And hopefully we'll get to see some of that soon. They're kind of a niche thing in that they're not necessarily always a bad thing, but we'll see how that goes if we run into that. So I believe Septic has just joined me. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. The racers are already counting down. They should be starting any second.
Okay, fair enough. I did a bit of the rundown of the tournament and all that stuff. We're about to see what familiar they're going to start off with in Seed 1 tonight. What is it going to be? Any last minute calls, Septic?
Golem.
Always the golem, huh? Clown, okay.
Golem in the egg.
It's pretty interesting. I don't think we've seen a clown starter yet. It's kind of vanilla, but it's also a pretty solid familiar. Might be a little on the quote-unquote slower side, but it's pretty safe with its ranged magic, and having a double spell definitely helps it. Double spell level definitely helps it out in that regard. So do
Yeah,
you think?
that will get strong very quickly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, can easily carry both of them up to the top of the tower on its own if they play their cards right. Well, we'll see how that goes. And it's a standard wind clown, meaning that when they find wild clowns in the tower, they will also be wind, which is their normal state. It looks like we are going to see Chai hatch his egg immediately, and Deme is going to follow suit. And do we get anything good? Ooh, not
Noise.
particularly. I'd like to see a noise starter, but having it in the egg doesn't really do much for us. It will give us the spell-proof trait if we fuse it, but it's actually not very useful for the most part. So we probably won't see any use out of it, other than maybe for changing elements, and that would probably only be on Chai's side if I had to guess, if at all. We're probably just going to see a standard clown climb here. Although they did get a fire sword, which is pretty solid for starting equipment. An acid rain ball, also pretty solid. What else did we get? An earth shield, my personal favorite starter shield. And
If it's your personal favorite, why are these runners not equipping it?
I
Wouldn't they want to
honestly
immediately equip it?
I honestly don't know. It is the single greatest shield in the game. It's pretty much a guaranteed win, especially if you start with it. So, trolling aside, the Earth Shield is actually a pretty solid shield if used in the right circumstances, but it is also a pretty highly double-edged sword in that most of the damaging traps, or at least the big ones anyway, are fire elemental. In this game revolves around an elemental triangle. Fire beats wind, wind beats water, water beats fire. So hitting something like, oh, I don't know, a bomb trap, which would be fire elemental, using that earth shield, which makes Ko wind element, is a very quick way to kill yourself on floor 1, or floor 2 actually. And I mean, it also isn't particularly useful on the early floors, because a lot of the monsters you're gonna find on the first 5 or so floors are gonna mostly be fire. Though I mean, that's not even necessarily true though, because the Earth Shield does have, I believe, 5 defense, which
Correct. Yes.
I mean, yeah, and the elemental weaknesses on this early in the tower aren't that staggering, so you can actually get a bit of use out of an Earth Shield even early on. But like I said before, it is pretty dangerous to run around inside rooms without a trap loop or something going on, because you never know. As soon as you put that Earth Shield on, you are a bomb trap detector. And
I've never not hit a bomb trap wall. If I forget to take that thing off in rooms, I'm pretty much guaranteed.
It's pretty much a guarantee. And it also doesn't give it's also not doing them any favors having their clown be wind element, because it will suffer the same fiery fate if it happens to step on a bomb trap as well. We are seeing the runners getting a few levels here. Chai's, I guess, debating whether he wants to fight this flame. Definitely needs to keep his clown out of the line of sight there, because that clown will make that flame will make quick work of his clown with a sled, which they are quite prone to using. So while the runners are doing the fairly standard 1 through 5 search for the items, you want to go into a little bit about our runners tonight, Septic.
Certainly. So Chai has he joined the community and joined the Stars tournament and won the Stars tournament. He actually put on a really good show. He, for the most part, dominated that tournament as a complete newcomer to the game. And ever since, like at the time, he was a little bit slow, plays very cautiously. Over time, he has built his speed up quite a bit. And for Lady Deme, she's been around with the community for a long time, longer than I have. And she knows the game in and out. She's a very methodical player. Very willing to use even the most niche of tricks to try and survive.
They're
both
definitely
very good
true.
players.
I know Deme has shown off the Tumna glitch in previous tournaments, which is kind of one of those niche things. It's definitely not something that you want to rely on, but it will get you out of a situation. With a few caveats on higher floors. But yeah, we will probably see some neat tricks out of her in these climbs. And same goes for Chai. He also knows quite a bit about the game we're playing tonight. In fact, the tracker window that you see on top of the game screens was actually created by Chai. So he knows his way around the game as well. So this should be a pretty exciting match we have going on tonight, to say the least. And Chai already hitting floor 6. He has, I guess, a decent inventory. Nothing particularly stand out, but it'll definitely get him by for a little while, especially with the clown on these water floors. He'll make quick work out of these. He should be able to kill any water monster in 2 hits maximum.
Yeah, so far what I've seen, like, they got a Bind. Not really a great spell. In reference to the original binding does a 3-turn, well, technically 4-turn, but 3 turns that you can move, paralyze. The other binding spells, La Bond and Lay Bond, unfortunately, they only work on a specific element monster, and only hold that monster for a single turn.
Yeah.
So that's not a high value item. Do you know which
Oh.
element Labind is?
The Labind, I believe, is fire, so it would only work on wind monsters. It looked like Deme hit a bit of a misinput there. I think she wanted to do a mix slowdown and hit direct instead. It's gonna cost her, I think, about 10 MP, but that's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, Labind is one of the few spell balls that really becomes kind of niche in its alternate forms, mainly because it only works on a specific genus of monster, and even then, on top of that, if that wasn't bad enough, it cuts the paralyzed time down quite significantly, so it really reduces its usefulness. Now, that's not to say that you can't get use out of it. You know, if something is, especially if something is liftable, you can still essentially get full use out of it. But using it as an escape method, again, you can still do that, but it's going to take you multiple charges to get through that. So it's kind of a nice item to see, but also kind of hope for better at the same time. But in this type of a situation, you take what you can get.
It looks like Chai also found a Noah Brid ball. And that's going to find... I want to say that's going to find a lot of value, but as long as he keeps his clown around, water monsters are not going to be that big of an issue.
That is true. That actually, finding a wind attack ball like that really gives him pretty much all the incentive in the world to change his element from wind at this point.
Which it looks like he might be deciding to do. He's hatching a balloon.
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing I can think of for why he would hatch it, because the balloon is not going to have a spell or anything useful to be able to help him. So I'm thinking that might be fusion fodder just for the element change. Deme hitting floor 5. And in the elevator room, is she... Okay, she is going to opt to search this floor a little bit. I can't say that that is a bad call at all.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't want to have... be lacking any items that Chai could have picked up, so... And as far as she knows, since the racers cannot see each other's screens, she has no idea what is on this floor. She's already got the Elaine, the Labond. I don't think she's going to find anything too spectacular on this floor.
She doesn't have the Noah Brid ball yet, so if she...
I think that was found on the water floors.
Okay, okay. And on Chai's side, this is a prime reason why Chai is probably looking for that element change. While the clown would still be great on Krakens coming up in a few floors, they are one enemy type out of several, and the other several are, for the most part, all fire, except for those little dreaming guys. And I mean, realistically, who's scared of a dreaming? So that's probably what he's looking for. The fire version of Lowdown actually has the ability to turn enemies around from a distance as well, which I don't believe the wind version has.
Correct. The wind version, I think, is the only one that doesn't have a chance to turn enemies around.
Yeah, it's the only one that doesn't get a double hit in melee distance as well, if I recall correctly.
Correct.
I haven't been reading chat. Sorry, guys. Shawnee, you did get it. Congratulations. And I am very sorry, Yume. I completely forgot to tag you there. But it looks like Shawnee got me covered, so it's a win-win.
Oh no, this is interesting. So it looks like Chai did not fully explore floor 5. Lady Deme just found a pillar ball.
Ooh, a standard pillar ball. That's gonna
A
come.
standard pillar with 7 full uses.
That is definitely going to come in handy. Well, let's hope that doesn't bite Chai in the long run, not having that spell ball. Though with him potentially wanting to go fire element with this balloon, I assume once he finds the elevator, he might continue to hatch that. That pillar ball, I mean, while still incredibly nice, will become less of an issue. But still. That leaves him vulnerable to, if he wants to change to water or back to wind at some point as well, he won't have the availability of a pillar ball to rely on, so...
Yeah, as long as his familiar stays fire, I can't see a real need for the pillar ball. But on the flip side, Lady Deme can switch to water and have everything covered. She'll have the fireball, she'll have a Noah Bread if she finds it.
Yeah, that is the
we've yet
big
to see
thing.
that, but
And
she'll have the whole triangle covered.
yeah, and that is kind of one of the neat things about the state display tournament rule set, is that it really changes up what your go-to method of climbing the tower is. And sometimes if you get really lucky, it actually makes the tower a little bit easier as far as you know, elemental advantage and all of that stuff goes. It's not very common for you to actually be able to cover every element like that, so it's definitely a pleasure to play when that is an option. But it really does come down to if she can find that Noah Brid ball. I actually missed where Chai picked that one up at, and she's gonna find it egged. I believe that's the balloon egg that Chai was playing around with earlier. And she does have truth
so far I've seen
glasses.
an egg.
Is she going to opt to hatch it for potential fusion?
I'm thinking with the pillar ball, she might actually just be better to hold on to it and use it for either MP or as an egg bomb.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
There's always the risk of running into bomb traps though, and that might also just end up being on the back of her mind, and she might do the same.
Yeah, I think with her having the pillar ball and assuming she can find a Noah Brid, her best option is definitely to go water. That will reduce the damage of any potential traps. It'll give you the option to turn monsters around with the ranged mixed magic, and it's just pretty strong altogether. Most of the real threats that you're gonna find in the tower are gonna be fire elemental. Being able to have advantage against them is always nice.
And actually, looking at the inventories, Chai must have found the elevator on this floor pretty quick. Because if you look at Lady Deme's inventory, she is now stacked. She's got 2 Tumnos, 2 Holy Scrolls, the Aline, the Balloon Egg. All she's missing is that Noah Bread.
And with the way she's been going, it's pretty likely she's gonna find that at some point. So she even used the treasure loop just to make sure she can find all of that loot. So hopefully she finds that soon. And it does look like Chai is doing the fusion for the fire element. Probably a good choice at this point.
I like having that on the table before pickets start becoming an issue. Because just trying to wear down a picket with a water or wind monster can take so long.
And that just might be the Noah Brid ball on Deme's side.
Yeah, she don't have to worry about the Maneva. She'll at least get to check it.
Noah
Yep,
Brid, there it
is.
is. Now she just needs to decide what to get rid of, because she is pretty stacked at this point. Honestly, I mean, there are a couple options I could definitely get behind, like the getting rid of that noise. Probably never gonna get used. That's just taking up space. Probably could have got rid of a monster loop or even the Leva, because with that pillar ball pickets, you can just kill them. Though I guess the Leva is kind of a nice one-off, so I don't know. There were definitely options there.
She opted to get rid of the decurse, which I don't mind. There's never a guarantee that you're gonna find a leather shield. And running with this diamond +1, definitely not the worst thing.
Not only that, though, with the Clown's Mixed Magic specifically, the weapon doesn't matter at all, so it's not like they're going to be risking additional curses trying to search for elemental wands or anything like that. So, yeah, I can fully get behind getting rid of that decurse. Because realistically, at this point, the only thing she's probably going to try to equip is maybe a leather shield if she can find one. Or in some kind of a niche situation, maybe some kind of an elemental shield, but I think that's a little unlikely, having a diamond shield. Unless she's in a very dire situation. I mean, she doesn't even have the space to hold an extra shield at the moment, so it seems kind of unlikely.
What I would love to see right now from Lady Deme is, outside of maybe some balls that she might come across, to literally just ignore items and find the elevator and go.
Yeah, at least for a couple of floors anyway, because she is pretty stacked, and every time she finds another good item, she has to stop and decide, do I want this item, and if I do, what do I get rid of? Which causes kind of decision paralysis, and it definitely costs her time doing so. And Chai, I mean, we've mentioned before, he did pretty well in the Stars tournament, and he's only gotten better since then. So he's not an opponent to sleep on for sure. This Kraken does not appear to be aggroed actually, and the elevator seen on the spin. And Chai moving up to floor 15 very shortly. Clearing up some inventory space, probably a good thing. Doesn't need those golf wins at all. He was probably saving those for a weapon toss at some point and just never needed them. Yeah, exactly, Yume. Having too many good items isn't necessarily a good thing either.
It definitely comes down to a test of willpower at that point. You always see an item like a scroll, and you want to check it. It ends up being like a malicious or a holy scroll, and obviously that's a good item you want to have, but you only have so many inventory spaces, and trying to just set up your value a little bit better and taking 5 minutes to figure that out is just, in the end, way too much time.
It's not necessarily a bad thing though to, full-on items you find that malicious or holy, just carry it over top of your head and use it first chance you get. If you play like that, I mean, you can't really complain too much. You still get to keep all of your good items. You still got use out of that other good item that you wanted. And Deme in a little bit of a predicament here, opting to toss the holy at the volcano for a little bit of friendly help. Still taking quite a bit of damage though. She's gonna have to use an egg bomb, or she's gonna have to use some of her items to get out of this. She can't take another hit. At least not
I
from
think
the
she should
volcano
just
anyway.
walk into.
Ooh, oh, and the tile immunity.
Thunder glitch.
Yeah. He is effectively invincible at this point. Actually, she still actually is invincible. I wasn't sure how that worked if she put it down. So we actually get
As
to
long
see
as she
the.
doesn't move out of that spot, there are some tiny circumstances, like
Yeah, you can
actually this
actually see the
volcano might
yeah, the volcano actually
mess with
standing
it.
on top. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, I see
If
what you
another
mean.
monster walks onto that tile, it can mess with it. She should just
And
she should
she
just walk into the
she's
holy scroll.
she could do that. Yeah, her clown's gonna take a bit of a damage there. She does have a pillar ball. She could easily kill this clown, but I think she wants to let her volcano help her out since she already spent that item making it friendly. Chai getting some quick levels on Garudas with this flame clown, 2 hitting them. Might even be able to 1-hit them in a couple levels here. Oh, and Deme getting hit by the true slow trap. Well, not her volcano buddy.
Yeah, I'm feeling very worried. Yeah, I agree with this pillar ball usage. Just get rid of it.
Oh, she
You're
actually
too low
doesn't have
health.
a medicinal anymore.
Yeah, she already used that earlier.
Ooh, losing the
This floor
volcano
is just
there's
giving her
kind
a
of
lot of.
losing that volcano buddy there's actually kind of irritating because it's still friendly to her even though it's gone, and she has no way of knowing if the next volcano she encounters is the friendly one or not until she gets into melee with it and it hits her or it doesn't. The floor 10 is not being kind to Deme at all. And meanwhile, Chai is actually having a fairly good time of it on floor 17 already. 18 even, with his fire clown.
It looks like he's picked up yet another Olam and a Tumna for himself. His inventory still isn't fully stacked, so he's gonna be relying heavily on this clown.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of playing to Chai's strengths in a way. He is very fond of clown, as I'm sure a lot of people are. It's mixed magic and its trait just, oh man, it just lines up so well. And he does tend to like playing with familiars more than not playing with them, so it definitely plays to his strengths in more than one way. That's not to say that he's, you know, infallible. He can certainly die in, you know, with a few wrong moves, or if his inventory starts to run a little dry. Clown is great at killing one enemy at a time, but spawn in a bad room or, you know, a 1-room floor or something like that, he could quickly have trouble on his hands. And the decision paralysis we were talking about earlier on Chai's side. Doesn't want to get rid of the earth shield because he's going to soon be on water floors. I think I can't really see why he might hold on to the noise. Maybe he's planning on going wind again for the water floors, because that would certainly make going through those a lot easier. I almost don't even agree with turning that picket around. He had a Leva fruit, and he could use some inventory space for more items. Maybe he forgot that he had it because he's not playing with his state display.
I have to be honest, like that happens to me all the time in these tournament settings when I'm running with a familiar. I usually just default to letting my familiar fight the picket. And because I'm trying to make decisions quickly, I'm just doing it. I'm not thinking about my inventory. I'm like, I got a solution that costs no items. But really that Leva fruit is better to be used than to not be used. It has no other purposes.
I mean, it has that one. Well, I mean, it does. I guess it does kind of have another use. its intended use with the fusion system.
Yeah.
But it's so, I mean, that fusion use is even more niche than tossing it at a picket. So I try to, if I can remember, I definitely try to use them before anything else, because like you said, they don't really have a use once you get past pickets. So rather use it than not use it, you know what I mean?
And at this point, Chai has already passed all the pickets aside from the unique one that spawns on floor 25. We'll get to see if he either just goes ahead and abandons it when he notices, or maybe he might actually use it when he gets there.
Magna Dracomon has never seen this game before. You wanna give him a quick rundown of what we're playing here, Scepter?
And so this is a roguelike dungeon crawler with town rebuilding and relationship simulations. And there's a bit of a small story to the game where your father dies in the tower, you grow up, you become of age to enter the tower yourself. It's what you've always dreamed of doing. And so that's what you start doing. And then as you go through the tower, you learn a little bit more bits and pieces about what's going on with what happened to your dad. As you go through this tower, items are randomly generated, floor layouts randomly generated, and you can find eggs. And that's what these little monsters that are following our runners here, they are familiars. You generally get them from an egg. We're using a randomizer, so they're actually starting with a unique familiar. But yeah, the game is turn-based, and even though everything feels like it's done in real time, enemy monsters do not move unless you move, or unless you take an action of some sort. And it's a very strategical game.
Yeah, and while we were having that quick rundown, there were kind of a few interesting things that happened. Chai ended up finding a Nia Breath Ball, which is a water-based attack ball. So, having not found the Pillar Ball on the previous floors, he now also covers all three elements. So him picking or playing Fire Clown is actually really helping him out at the moment. And we saw on the previous floor, Chai was using a bit of a manipulation with changing his AI between 1 and 2. It was making the enemy essentially skip their turn. The quick version of the explanation for that is the enemy monster keyed up its attack, so it decided that it wanted to attack your familiar, but your familiar moves from that tile before the enemy gets a chance to actually hit it. So it just stands there and skips its turn, and you can repeat that over and over until, you know, it dies or you get away. As long as you don't input a manual command, that is very important. You can only do that by changing the AI cards. If you command your familiar, it will change its place in the turn order, and it won't work anymore. And pickets are actually really good at doing that with their double turn feature trait.
It's actually important to note that Chai is the one who absolutely discovered this, how the turn order works to unlock this little tactic. So to see him use it, definitely not much of a surprise. It's a fairly new thing discovered.
Yeah, I think he discovered it towards the end of the last random Toolkit tournament. and I don't think he quite understood it. Maybe he understood how it worked, but didn't quite understand how to really set it up in a speedy fashion. But he's definitely figured that out. It's still a somewhat slow tactic, but it can get you out of some situations without needing to use items or anything like that. It's a nice little trick to know. Meanwhile, Deme on floor 16, you think she's going to find...
Ooh,
you
that
think she's
wasn't the
going
right.
to find a mobile casino?
Oh, I hope so. There's nothing more exciting than finding a barong. Not to me, anyway.
It seems I am needed for a moment. Excuse me for 1 minute, Septic. I will be right back.
No worries. It looks like Chai's getting up to floor 25. He's soon going to be coming across Snowmen. Right now, I think he's just now coming into stealth territory. So if he takes a random hit out of nowhere, that's the specialty of the stealth. It will use its invisibility. It can do it at any time. It can actually spawn on the floor invisible and just come out of nowhere and hit you for 20 plus damage. These are zoos that Chai is currently fighting. They wish Shawnee was here to explain exactly how they work. Maybe he wants to in the chat, but...
Oh no, what did I return to?
Oh, just talking about zoos.
Oh, I see. Getting the Shawnee trolls in. I got you.
Yeah, gotta get the Shawnee trolls in.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so the zoos, basically, they will bark and paralyze you on the spot. They could be very terrifying. They are one monster that I refuse to go for a lift unless it's literally my only option. But they are liftable.
Just paralyze them, man.
Paralyze them?
Yeah.
Hey, let's not mislead the audience. Let's not mislead Shawnee. Zoos cannot be paralyzed. Oh, he's already confirmed it ahead of time. Bark can't.
Yeah,
be
bark
paralyzed.
is bad. Bark is very bad. Now, it is worth noting that the zoo's ability to paralyze actually affects your familiar in a slightly different way, in that whatever AI card your familiar is on and it gets hit, it will lower by 1 until it's at 1. And if you leave your familiar on 1 and it is successfully barked at again, then it will become paralyzed. So
It looks like Chai finally. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. He got rid of his lever fruit, it looked like.
Yeah, he finally got rid of it. He decided to go and feed it to his clown.
Okay. I was really hoping Deme wasn't gonna try to kill that Arachne, because I don't think she can take a hit, and I don't think she'd be able to kill it in 1 hit either, so... Using a Holy Scroll, solid choice. Having a spider buddy is nice on these floors, and she can always opt to kill it later for the XPs.
That would be done very easily with that clown.
Yeah. Everything else does the work at lowering it down. Clown comes in for the kill. Oh, and that's the one that stole, I think it was a wake up herb from her earlier. Yeah, you can see just how powerful the clown is. I mean, granted, Chai is level 18, which is actually pretty high level as far as like tournament and especially speedrun standards go. But he's still hit for 74 damage in a single hit, which is kind of ridiculous. Using that earth shield to great effect.
High ground plus earth shield, and now Maneva only hit for 16.
Yeah, he easily could have taken over 30 damage there. And he remembers to take it off immediately. That is the most important step. I know Chai is actually, in general, a fan of the elemental shields. Just because of how effective they can really be. Oh, that could be a real game changer if he does not get his clown back.
Yeah, and it looks like he does not have a familiar bell. They're starting to seem
No.
like super rare. I've seen like maybe
Uh-oh.
1 or 2 familiar bells in the past month.
I don't see Chai's familiar surviving. If he can survive 2 hits, he might be able to throw that holy scroll at the snowman.
Oh, it's not going to. It's trying to walk past the snowman.
Yeah, I'm not. There you go. He might be able to toss the holy scroll at it. I don't know if it'll quite reach though, but
That miss.
oh, or the Oling, that'll work too. Very nice. Saved his clown. He's got to feel pretty good about that one.
That it was all. It all hinged on that miss.
It really did. That clown was super dead otherwise. With that snowman being water element, I mean, the snowman's gonna hit like a truck regardless, but given the snowman elemental advantage on top of that, you're gonna feel that one in the next climb.
Lady Deme's trying to navigate off of these picket floors. She's not far from the elevator.
No,
Got
yeah,
right
she
and
knows
slowing her
exactly where it is, yeah, so it shouldn't take her terribly long to get there. Ooh, but a spell ball. Ooh, and another Noah
No,
Very
but-
nice, very nice.
I would love to see her change her element.
I was just thinking the same thing. Now that she has 2 wind balls, I would really like to see her change her element. Unfortunately, she doesn't really have the means to do that at the moment, but... And Chai switching back to wind strats. Wind equals good.
I do not like that. With this clown, yeah, I do not like that decision.
Why is that?
Well, he's on floor 29. On floor 30,
He has a CC.
pretty much. Okay, he does have a CC.
It's all
Okay.
good, man.
It's not that
all
bad.
good. He saw your concern and he raised you one. It's all good. Meanwhile, Deme entering Viper Town with her wind clown should have no issues here at all, for the most part.
Just got to be careful of any wee dogs.
And the Nia Breath Ball. Now the only thing that was really scary on these floors is now suddenly very much less scary.
Oh, do not blind the clown.
That could be, I mean, it could be bad, but she does have Noah Breath if she needs it on the next floor, if it had hit.
And she also has a roam herb if she wants to give it a quick cure.
True, true.
But spawning right next to that that wee dog is not the best.
Chai using one of my favorite abilities of the clown, a Maneva detector.
And
in
if
a
Deme stream frees up, it does.
Yeah, I don't see her moving anymore. There we go. Just a slight hiccup. Chai moving on to floor 30 in the meantime. With the water clown, as far as color schemes go for the clown, the water one is definitely my favorite with that orange scythe.
Yeah, it does look
73
really cool.
damage, man. Clown is just too good.
Yeah, there's The only things that would threaten him with this clown with him is from here on out it's going to be basically glaciers and golems.
And he has, well, he has the glaciers handled with his Noah breath.
No brush, yeah.
The golems, on the other hand, he does not have a fire option, so they might be a little. Granted, he does have Labind, so he can try to do something with that. It's the only thing he's going to work on at this point. But that's kind of
Yeah.
his only option other than a Holy Scroll or a Tumna Fruit.
Oh, Shawnee has a really good question in chat here. Why is the clown level 21 and did not evolve?
That is because Chai gave it a Leva Fruit.
Oh, Leva's... That is one of those details I completely forget about.
Yeah, that is something that I learned from Cluter, actually. In his New Game Plus runs, he starts off his run by feeding his High Kid a Leva, so it won't evolve later on for a time save. Now, whether or not he fed it the Leva for that purpose, I'm not certain. Because the clown does, or the death does have better stat gains.
If I was to guess, he probably just fed it to Leva for a little bit of MP and to get it out of his inventory.
Yeah, that is like that is definitely the more obvious answer. And it kind of had the side effect of keeping it a clown, which is a small time save. Because, I mean, he's not using it as a fighter, so having it have the better stat growth isn't super necessary. It's not going to affect the spell level gain or anything like that. So, I'm going to have to agree with you. He probably did it for the MP and just to clear out his inventory, because it's faster to just give items to your monster than it is to take them out and drop them. We can always ask him about that in the interview later on.
Definitely, and on the off chance that he wouldn't be aware of that detail, because that is like a little known detail. Leva Fruit's preventing fusion. Or not preventing fusion, but preventing evolution.
Yeah,
or
I
to the
think
very least, it's not at the front of anybody's mind.
the way that the item description is written, it implies that it's meant to be used for preventing losing a specific monster in fusion, but it does also double as keeping your monster from evolving. So if you like that cute little clown and you don't like death for whatever reason, you can always have your cute little clown until level 99 by just giving it a Leva Fruit. It's also a great way to not know that a monster evolves, because you didn't know about that beforehand. Like if you're new to the game and you just happen to feed your snowman a Leva Fruit, you may never know that they can evolve into a saber at some point. So there is that.
It's like a little hidden troll done by the game.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. The Chai should be able to kill this dragon in 2 hits at maximum. With that extra hit from his clown, with a slim chance, he might be able to finish this off in 1 hit. No, not quite.
Dragon has 64 damage for that.
Yeah, Dragon has 81 hit points. Somewhere around there, anyway. It's low 80s. He was pretty close to being able to kill it in 1 hit. But as we all know, 1 HP
81.
is all you need. 1 HP is all you need.
This is true.
Now this, I don't know how I feel about this. He does have no upgrade. And I believe that's actually a new one that he just picked up. Or maybe, am I confusing Deme picking up a new Noah bridge? Because she has multiples. Either way,
I
he
think you
has
might be
a...
confusing with Lady Deme.
It worked, though. It definitely worked.
Yeah, he is being conservative, like, and I understand, like, what if he ends up losing his clown to a warp trap or something?
Or slow trap.
That could do it too.
Ooh, and Deme finding an egg inside of a viper. I don't think there's anything in particular that it could be. I mean, maybe, I think it can still be an arachne, which would be definitely a solid backup if she loses her clown for whatever reason.
Oh, and there's the stealth doing what the stealth do.
Yes, indeed. And that
He
is
did
gonna...
not skip a
That's...
turn, I don't think.
Oh, okay. I was pretty sure that was going to come back around and smack her once before she went. But with it being invisible, but maybe she skipped a turn or something and I missed it. Or she
I don't
just...
think she skipped
Oh.
a turn, like, unless she just, like, real quickly did it with circle triangle. But I think maybe it was just, like, she was one hit away when she was on the elevator. Or one turn away from being hit.
Chai in the final 5 floors of the tower now. He's slowed down a little bit. He is in, kind of a danger zone at this point. We saw him get hit for, what was it, 64 earlier by a dragon?
Yeah.
He
Dragon's hit
cannot
really
take...
hard.
He can take, well, depending on what it is, he can take a couple hits, but most of the big, bad, scary things, he can only take a single hit from at most. So he's playing it a little bit safer here, I think, slowing down a little bit. That's giving Deme an opportunity to catch up a bit. She's closed the gap down, now only 9 floors behind. Which in the grand scheme of things really isn't... It's not all that bad, really.
Yeah, she was already a little bit behind when she got to floor 10, and then floor 10 just really wrecked her pace.
It did,
She was
and
stuck on that floor for a few minutes.
you also have to consider that I don't believe Deme has changed her clown's element at all. She has rocked the wind clown all the way up to this point, and it's still alive. I mean, there's something to be said about that. It's still alive.
Oh, does Lady Deme just use Nia Breath instead of one of her 3 Noah Brids on a Mandara?
She did. I mean, she could have also just used
Is that
the
misclick or?
I don't know. She could have probably easily at this point killed it with just a lowdown.
She might be thinking the
Yeah,
Mandara is fire.
that's what I'm thinking of, because that was a very deliberate selection of Nia Breath that time. So she might actually think that Mandaras are fire element instead of water.
Oh, her poor clown. She just hit a bomb trap.
And her clown is actually
Yeah, now
really
she's
low on
toned.
MP as well.
Now she's toned it. She might learn here. Yeah, she just did 86. Oh wait, well it was a frog. She probably.
Oh, that was
Oh, my
so
heart.
incredibly scary. You do not play around with zoos at all. Not like that, no.
She is out of pillars now, so she doesn't really.
I mean, she
Okay,
doesn't
yeah,
really
just
have...
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fine.
at this point, if it worked the first time, it's gonna work 100% of the time, right? That's how this works. Chai finding the elevator. 239 has to get through this golem first, though. It's okay. Holy scroll. Problem solved. For now? No, problem solved. So soon after he looks at all of these items and takes a quick nap, he will be heading up to floor 39. and searching for the final elevator to end round 1. I love doing that, using the clown as a Maneva detector. And we see a death evolution on Deme's side. Very nice.
And that death only has 4 MP.
Yeah. And
Oh,
the
fear
egg.
to the egg.
Feeding the egg. Kind of her only choice at this point. I mean, she could give it like the Levo or the Limit or whatever for a little bit of MP, and that would keep it going for a little while, but the egg is definitely a solid choice to keep it running for a good while.
Given the Leva and Limit Fruits don't have a whole ton of purpose, if any at all, I probably would have just gone ahead and fed them those, hoping to keep that egg for an egg bomb.
Yeah, but then again, I don't know. Is it really all that necessary when you have a clown? I mean,
Definitely not really.
I
She's out of
definitely
pillar and
agree.
she's out of
Oh,
near breath,
and that is
and
floor 40 for Chai.
GG.
We will let the runners know round 1 is over. Get them reset onto seed 2, get a countdown going. Meantime, I will give Chai his +1 pita fruit. And now that round 1 is over, chat, what would you guys like to see for the next round? Starter familiars, the egg, the weapons, whatever you like, spell balls. What are we calling in chat for the next round? I think we did get a noise in the egg this seed. I would like to see a noise starter, because I believe it gets the sleep spell when it's unlocked, which is an AoE magic. And if you level up a noise, it actually has pretty decent stat growth, so it can be a decent fighter, and it has access to an AoE spell. So I think that might be kind of an interesting thing to see. It paired up with definitely something that you don't want to see, so they actually use the noise, so I don't know. Maybe like... I don't know, everyone says Palumpa. Let's go with like Picket. You don't want to see a Picket without a spell. And actually, you really don't want to see a Picket with a spell. You just don't want to see Pickets in general.
At all.
Yeah, because the Pickets with a spell are just, ugh. If they cast a spell on their first turn, they cast it again on their second turn. Depending on what element they are, you're potentially going down 2 levels, potentially losing a ton of attack power, or a ton of defense power. Which is just, I mean, none of those options are good, so it's not something you want to see, and especially with like standard lowdown, it's not exactly a fast spell animation either, so ugh. What would you like to see, Septic?
I'm always hoping for seeing a golem. That's just me. I wouldn't actually mind seeing how these runners rock with maximum.
So pretty much any of the double MP cost monsters are good.
Pretty much.
I get you, I get you. Are you doing the seed checks or shall I?
I can do the seed checks.
Okay.
Chai just fast forwarded straight through his seed.
Okay, so yeah, I noticed he was playing with the fast forward. Um, we have Fee says Zoo
That
and
was
Flame.
6.56.
Okay. Kraken Picket, Volcano Saber, of course. Plushy, you're just cursed to always have the saber, it seems. Want to see Naples? Naples is, I mean, whether it's starter or not, Naples is just always good to see. That double HP trait makes whatever you're using that much more tanky. for free, really. I mean, you don't have to do anything other than just let it survive for a little while, and it's good to go. Chai is on 6156, and Deme appears to be having some kind of an issue or something. Her screen is frozen for me.
Yeah, I'm going to see if it's freezing on her channel. If I can pull that up. Here we go.
There we go. She's also on 6156. So assuming that is
I'll
the
let her know.
correct seed, we should be good to go momentarily. At least you learned to use Saber last time. Yeah, that is true. Saber, I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag because its mixture magic kind of sucks unless it's wind, but you don't really want it to be wind because it's also a really good fighter. So it's kind of, I do really like Saber as a fighter though. Um, Destroy obstacles is just too good.
I love break obstacle.
Break obstacle, that's what it is. It's a little on the costly side as far as, you know, one-off attacks go, but it's just so good.
I would also like to see if how these runners make use of a barong. Like if it's either in the egg or starter, doesn't matter. Usually it's relegated to being in the casino. And just like whether they decide to use their pita fruit on the barong or if they want to expand their main damage.
It is definitely a more interesting and a much harder choice if you get it as a starter because it unlocks its hidden spell Poison, which acts the same as Lowdown, where it has the range spells. So it can be, it's not as good as a clown with its double spell level or anything like that, but it's still pretty solid and can be used for utility with the wind and fire variants. But also Barong, I mean, how do you not just throw away all of its MP getting, blue sands? Or whatever the item of the day happens to be. It's definitely a lot easier choice if it's in the egg. It's definitely, just a free bagged casino at that point. Maybe feed it. The real question at that point is, do you continue to use it? Do you feed it the random herbs that you don't want for another toss? Do you sacrifice your pita fruit for a couple tosses? Do you wait and maybe hope you get a Laolum or something? It's I agree. It's definitely an interesting dynamic to it.
I do know in one of my practice runs, I did sacrifice my pita to use the barong some more, and that didn't end up really having an effect on the overall run for me. But that's, tower is tower. You might get 2 extra pita fruits as you're going along. Or you might not get any, and then whatever your damage is runs out of MP, and you're from there basically going commando.
Yep, it's
Or
definitely a
hatching an
gamble.
egg. Like there's still like other ways to, or feeding the egg.
Yeah,
Rather.
because I think I think I played that seed that you were talking about, and I definitely held on to Barong for a little while, like kind of hoping for a Laolum or something, but I don't think I used him more than once or twice, and then before I sent him home. And we're seeing an Arachne starter that I know I'm pretty sure is Chai's favorite monster. We're
Well, looks
going
like
to
Deme's
see.
happy about it too.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be happy about an Arachne? Come on now.
That's
Now,
true.
the important question is, what element is it going to be? We're kind of hoping for wind. Well, I mean, it doesn't. It's another one of those kind of hit or miss and it is wind. Being wind, it will have a 100% chance to stun a target with its mixture magic, but it's also wind, so bomb trap, kaboom.
Oh, but they
it's
have an
gone.
evolved monster in
Or
the
Q,
egg.
or Q.
Or Cune.
We could see a vanilla run
Let's hope
here.
it's not Cune.
We could see a vanilla Azure Dreams
Do
monster.
we want to see vanilla? We didn't come here to see vanilla.
No, we did not. Oh, and it's a
Oh.
Batnell. Oh, it's not even a choice. It's not even a choice. You fuse Batnell as the winner,
Arachne.
obviously. Yeah, you fuse them, and Batnell's the winner, obviously. It's not even a choice. Like, come on. He had to go. He had to come out to floor 2 because he can't pull out Batnell on that floor. Come on, Chai. Show everyone how great the Batnell is. Or I mean, also Deme. It's whatever. I don't care who does it. I just want
I
to see
might want to just get rid of this noise first, because he's like right next to him.
I just want to see my boy shine. Every time I see him in this tournament, he's always overshined by a dragon or a kid in the egg. Every single time, and I'm the only one that ever plays him. I need somebody else to play him and do well, man. I need this.
These runners don't seem to care, man.
They don't.
They just rocking the Arachne.
Oh man.
Like, I don't know, Batnell is definitely good enough for this fusion. I would actually do the fusion myself and let Batnell win.
Well,
It's
the
so
thing,
hard to
though.
say, really, at the same time, because I do value my familiar being leftable.
Yeah, that is kind of the one drawback, because the Batnell will get the Dio mirror, so it will also be able to do the stun and all of that stuff. But it also has the ability to heal, and it also has essentially unlimited MP. Being able to eat herbs, seeds, fruits, and get 50 MP back. And having its double attack, or having its attack power doubled, it'll be, a good fighter as well. The only drawback is that it won't be liftable. But with all of that, does it really need to be liftable at that point? It's just so good.
I mean, it doesn't really need to be, but, like, still want it to be. I mean, in the end, if we start seeing... I don't know what the scaling is on Batnell versus Arachne for attack. I'm assuming Batnell's will be better as an evolved
I would hope,
monster.
yeah, I would hope so, seeing as it's evolved.
And if we see some Hazak herbs, that can get really crazy. Like, yeah, you probably just don't even have to worry about being leftable or not. You just punch whatever's in your way.
Another one of the immediate quote-unquote problems would be that having the Batnell win, it would end up as a wind element as well, with the spider being already wind, and they don't have a way to change its element, so being a double attack monster as wind element, it wouldn't be super effective until you hit around, floor 6 or so. So that might make things a little, but it would still also have the paralyzed magic, so it kind of balances out. I don't know. For me, I have to rep my boy, even if it would be the wrong choice. I would do it anyway, and I would do well. I hope. He would carry me for sure.
I'm hoping they do find some Kita fruits and whatnot, because Lady Deme's already blown through 22 of her MP. Basically, she has AI3 running, and she's just using it full force.
Yeah, it can get pretty costly, because I think it costs 3/4 of an MP every time. And it's not like it's really adding any extra damage, it's just reapplying that paralyze effect every time.
Yeah,
And
like
with
that.
the
Even though it's a point, 3/4 of an MP doesn't sound like much,
yeah,
it'll add up when
when it
it's not
takes
adding any extra damage.
yeah, when it takes you 7 hits to kill one enemy, and you kill 7 enemies on a floor, it definitely adds up pretty quick. Bat now being used for MP. I mean, it definitely could. It would definitely make restoring its MP much easier for sure. From the looks of it, though, I don't think we're gonna see that from either runner at this point. And I'm thinking it's probably because of the lift factor, at least for probably for Deme. The lift factor I think is pretty big. Chai, it probably has a bit of a mixture to spite me because he knows Batnell's my favorite and Arachne is his favorite. So it's probably kind of a mixture of like the three. We'll have
So
to
it turns.
ask about that in the interview. We'll have to ask both of them.
I noticed over here that Lady Deme was smacking the Cyclone, and even though she kept the spell active, or kept her familiar on AI3, it was actually being released from paralyzed, even like directly after the attack. So it doesn't seem to refresh or reapply the paralysis once they're already paralyzed.
Oh, really? I didn't actually know that.
Oh, and Lady Deme just ignoring the ice shield.
Yeah, the ice shield. Out of all the elemental shields, the ice one is by far the most useful. I mean, they all have their uses, but the ice shield definitely has more of them, for sure.
Oh no!
Oh no, that's a dead spider if I ever saw one. That is one of the downsides of being wind element in general.
Well, Batnell hype, right?
And yeah, because of that, we got my boy coming to the show.
This might actually
And
be good for her if
it
because she's
might
got a
be.
stream one.
They both started with a stream one. Batnell natively is water element, so she's gonna be doing a ton of damage. She's also gonna be able to heal herself on a whim if she needs it. One of the caveats about that though is that if the Batnell thinks it's in danger or thinks you're in danger, it's gonna opt to ignore its AI card and try to heal you, which can be really bad sometimes, because especially on higher floors where you're against something like a killer that's going to hit you for 50 or 60 damage.
Yeah,
If your
heal's only
mixture,
gonna proc for like 25, 30.
yeah, at most you're going to get maybe 30 HP back from it, from the heal. Or if your mixed magic would have just went off, the killer would have died and it wouldn't have been a problem. Assuming you didn't miss. But, you know, not commanding it, the bat now decided, hey, my tamer is in danger, and essentially guaranteed that you're going to die. So it's something you definitely have to keep your eye on for sure. But he's only looking out for your well-being. If only he had a better spell.
D4th, or yeah, D4th.
Yeah, D4th. I mean, with his eating habits, with the herbs, seeds, and fruit, he could very easily manage that as well, which is probably why he doesn't have it for like a, you know, balancing effect. Because his game is perfectly balanced and coded.
The fusion system, like that's where you know you can grow your monster. You can always unlock the spell through a Maneva or Palumpa, and then just transfer it over from them.
Yeah, but then you have 2 healing spells, and who wants that? You know what I mean? And yeah, I agree, Shawnee. Chai probably does feel pretty good about having the Wind Spider, because it is a fighter regardless, and with having it be able to paralyze whatever target he happens to be, he's just not going to take damage from it at all. And I mean, Chai is definitely a big wind element fan, so
These Manivas are causing him some issues right now.
yeah, they definitely are. As far as his inventory goes, though, he's actually looking pretty weak. He really only has that binding ball going for him. I mean, he has a leather shield and a diamond shield, but other than that, he doesn't really have much to work with. And same goes for Deme, but she's not quite as far along in the tower. At least she has the Stream Wand water mixture magic thing going for her, so while it might not give her 100% free turns against certain monsters, she does have that pretty massive damage output. And as you can see on Chai's side, sometimes being able to guarantee stun something, you know, doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to take damage from something else. So it's not the be-all end-all for sure. So it is. They are both pretty nice and both have their merits for sure.
Now I think the benefit here that Lady Deme is going to get is the speed, because it does not take much to kill anything, especially in these early floors. Like this Cyclone is going to be 2-hit, even though she's at a negative element. So like she's just going to smack it a couple times and go. Whereas Chai is paralyzing, AI wanting. But the Arachne doesn't have his bonus attack yet.
Yeah, his Arachne is fairly weak. Actually, almost out of MP as well. Every time it does a physical attack, it consumes 1 MP. And his Arachne has been using a ton of mixed magic and attacking, so he's just eaten through most of his MP at this point, and he's only on floor 6.
And meanwhile, Lady Deme has every herb is 50 MP, so
exactly,
there's literally no worries.
Every seed, every fruit, it's just free MP laying on the floor, man.
Feed the live.
Yeah, I mean, even the bad ones, like all of them, you're gonna gain more out of it than you're gonna lose from it. So, I mean, as long as it's not an Olim, you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, Chai's been stuck on this floor for a while now.
Yeah, and that's one of the real downsides of using this mixture magic specifically. While it can be incredibly useful, its usefulness is drastically reduced on things that aren't liftable, which Manivas and Cyclones are not. Neither are balloons, which are the 3 things that he's been running into on this floor. But it also, like I said before, doesn't prevent you from taking damage. Sure, if you're only fighting one thing at a time, yeah, you know, you're not going to get hit. But as soon as you start encountering more than one thing at a time, the danger factor goes up significantly.
And now Lady Deme's caught up. She's on floor 6.
Yeah, she's caught up on floor 6, and she's probably gonna have a lot easier time.
Oh, absolutely.
Going through this floor, being able to just 2-hit everything that she encounters.
And if she gets the left-right lottery, she might be seeing the exit before even Chai does.
Yeah, and that is a big factor. Chai pretty much explored this. Yeah, Chai pretty much explored this entire floor and had a really hard time doing it. If she can make that right turn and find it quickly, not only is that going to be, you know, faster than she found it to begin with, but even if she does end up exploring the whole floor, she's going to have a lot easier time than Chai did. Oh, and she found the fabled go down trap.
Go down.
Yep.
I got excited for a moment, like she's gonna be caught up. Nope.
Yeah, thankfully for her, it did not go off. That would have sent her immediately back down to floor 5. The floor 5 layout would have been exactly the same as far as like hallways and rooms go. There are a few variations that can happen for the items that spawned, but generally speaking, whatever item spawned on that floor when you were on it last time will spawn again. So things like spell balls, oleams, and things like that will generally respawn, so you can kind of use it as a farming tool. But I mean, obviously you're going down a floor, so it's slow regardless. You have to, and that goes the same for the elevator. Wherever the elevator was, it will be there in that spot again. So if you can remember that, you can get there quickly, or you know, however you want to go about it. It's going to be the same floor, and then you can try the floor you hit the trap on again and hope that you don't hit it for the second time, because I know doing practice runs for this tournament, I have hit the same go down trap multiple times, thinking that it was in a different spot, or you know, just completely forgetting that it was there for a second. But it does also have the kind of interesting use that, I mean, it is kind of a get out of jail card. Like, if you're in a really tough spot and there's a go down trap, you can use it. Go down a floor, survive, and, you know, get a second shot at that previous floor, or, you know, whatever floor was giving you a hard time before. And I've done that as well. It's definitely doesn't feel good to do it, but options are always a good thing.
Well, Demi's found the elevator. If I'm correct, Chai did get a little bit of an elevator train right here.
Yeah.
So she should still be right on his tail. I think she's going to fight you, though.
And now that they're on the floor 10, you know, roughly floor 10 on both sides, Deme is going to have an even easier time on these floors with the elemental advantage in that stream one. So this might have actually been a really good call. Though I guess it wasn't her first choice. She was kind of forced down this path in a way. Having not found any cure-alls or hazard herbs or water crystals, the spider's usefulness is kind of dwindled by the fact that it's kind of just a normal monster at this point. You really need to get one of those attack restoring items to make it special. Outside of its mixture magic thing that Chai's been using pretty heavily. So hopefully Chai can find one and get a little more use out of his spider. I know he'll be quite happy about that. But as long as he does not have that Hazak herb, Deme should be able to have a significantly easier time with most of the floors that they're going to be on soon. So she could very easily pull ahead here. She's only one floor behind at this point, so it's very, very possible.
I would say the only point it starts, like when it starts to get rough for Lady Deme, would probably be around floor 20 when the Vipers start showing up. Because even though the Batnail with this water mixture magic and a stream wand, Vipers still hit hard. Like, you might hit hard, but they do too.
Yeah, they're still going to take at least 2, maybe 3 hits depending on what level she is by the time she gets there. And if she has to heal herself after every encounter, that's going to start costing her a lot of time really quickly.
Yeah, whereas Chai will be able to just smack
Paralyze,
stun, move
lift.
on.
Yeah. And like I said, like we've said before, that is one of the big advantages of being able to just have an unlimited amount of stunning magic like that. Things like griffins that you can lift, hit them once, lift them, walk away, throw them, whatever you gotta do. They're not really too much of a threat. It really comes into when you have multiple enemies or things that aren't liftable, where things become a problem. Yeah, he's checking every herb on the ground, hoping he can find that Hazak or a cure-all or anything to help him out here. Worth noting as well, I don't believe either runner has found any kind of an elemental seed, so they're kind of stuck with whatever element they happen to be at the moment.
Yeah, and that's It's obviously not favorable. But at this, like, you definitely want to be water at the end, and that's already covered for Lady Deme. I guess it does of course depend on what kind of balls they might be able to find, spell balls.
Yeah, and that's another thing to point out. They haven't really found any spell balls. Deme's running around with the Dia mirror that they started with, a binding and a weak ball. And I mean, Chai has an extra Dia mirror, but that's about it. They don't have any spell balls to rely on. And that binding ball, I mean, for Chai, isn't really adding any value to him either, because his spider can do the same thing. I guess the value with the binding ball would come with that it can be used at range. But still, I mean, it's not something that he doesn't already have access to, so it's not adding too much value. Chai putting on that trusty leather shield. The leather cartel approves this message.
Absolutely. The extra dodge chance, I think it's like 15%.
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and that comes in so much value. Especially on the higher floors where your defense just starts feeling like it doesn't even matter.
Oh, it definitely doesn't matter on the higher floors. I mean, maybe if you have an elemental shield, it matters a little bit more, but...
Oh yeah, elemental shields I think are good all the way through.
Yeah.
Oh, and he is not going to have fun with this Noel.
Not at all. 1 damage. 3 damage from his spider with elemental advantage. He is not liking this at all. He's gonna
and he absolutely must be slow about this, because if he gives that Noel 1 turn, it can end up healing and just undoing so much of his work.
Oh, Lord. Okay. It's not low enough that it feels the need to heal itself. Chai is not a danger yet.
He's at 19 MP. 18.
He's eating through so much MP. And he doesn't really have anything to restore it with other than random herbs and seeds at this point either. So he's quickly becoming less and less useful.
Yeah, he didn't find a... Lady Deme found a water crystal on one of the earlier floors. He apparently never came across that, so...
Yeah, which is unfortunate, because she does, I mean...
She don't even need it.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a ton of use for a water scroll, or a water crystal at this point.
And there she goes, she just used the D heal to get a little bit of HP back.
What a room on Chai's side. 4 Garudas? Is this a sign? Is the Batnel and Arachne not gonna matter at all?
He's just gotta find Brong Boy. He's on 16.
True enough.
But it looks like all the spawns are Garuda, so... Probably not a Brong anywhere.
Probably not in there. There's that troll. He doesn't really have a way to realistically kill anything on this floor at this point. Oh, and look at this. Just 3 Garudas following each other.
Why didn't they turn left there?
Oh no. Pincered by every monster on the floor. Oh no, Chai. Not like this.
He's got him a hell. He's got Binding Ball and Arachne Paralysis. He's obviously thinking about this though, because you can only do 1 action a turn. And this is a situation where you're gonna wish you had more.
Oh no, and it gets even worse. He was gonna try and power through maybe.
Garuda.
And now he's just, oh man. And he really needs to be careful with these Garudas that aren't stunned, because they have the ability to abduct his spider buddy. And
Oh
then
yeah, that's an
just-
extra layer of
yeah.
fear.
Oh no, another Garuda! Oh my, this is so bad.
Oh my-
2 for 6 Garudas and a troll. Oh no, this is so bad. And no way to deal with it. I don't think he survives this.
I don't think so either. This is too amazing, though.
This is fantastic from our perspective. Chai has got to feel completely helpless in this situation, though. A 20 damage on his spider. He can't take another one of those. I do like the binding on that the Garuda blocking off the other two. That gives him a little bit of advantage here, if you can call it that.
Do you think he might actually sack the Arachne here for tile immunity? Because I think that might be his only way out, and that's going to be a huge time sink. There's no way he's tossing those Garudas away. He's in a very bad spot for that.
He physically can't toss them. Like, not away, like not in a way that would help him. I think, like you said, the tile, picking up his Arachne, sending it home, getting that tile immunity, that's his only option to survive this at this point. Other than getting like 4 lucky dodges in a row and a lift. Is he doing it? Is he gonna do it? I think he might do it. I think it's his only option to survive here.
Yep.
He doesn't. You can tell he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. Do it, buddy. There. He still has a bat now that he can fall back on. He has the Streamond as well. If he can get that bat now a handful of levels relatively quickly, he can still recover from this. Unfortunately, he is going to be stuck here for a while, because he's going to have to let these enemies run themselves out of MP one at a time until then he's kind of stuck here because he can't really do much. This is
just so amazing. But actually, oh my goodness, if these 2 Garudas and the Tro on his right and top sides, if they run out of MP, he's still not going to de-aggro this other Garuda. It's never going to run out of MP.
He's going to have to lift one and move it to let it get next to him and actually attack. And same goes for that troll. He can just move him around like
puzzle pieces.
Yeah, he's going to have to start playing Tetris with them.
Oh, I love this so much.
Yeah, this
probably shouldn't.
This is pretty bad. As far as as far as plays go, he definitely made the right one in that, he's still alive. He will eventually get out of this situation and can continue. However, oh man, I feel bad for laughing at him, but you don't see this every day. It's not something that you often rely on, and we've actually seen this particular glitch twice tonight, activated in 2 different manners. Meanwhile, Deme on floor 14 having very little issue fighting Krakens of all things, being able to just fully heal herself afterwards. Another Kraken. Not an ideal situation.
Lady Deme just walk up and smack it.
I mean, it's certainly not an ideal situation, but one that she can handle for sure. And not the elevator room, a fruit though.
Zoom in, hoping to waste less time, probably. Usually when you zoom in, you have to get a little distance away, but like once they're off screen, that's whenever actions speed up immensely.
I
But
think
that
he
does
might
not work here.
actually.
It actually, yeah, I think it's actually going slower because it's
Yeah,
having to zoom out
because it
first.
zooms in and it zooms back out. I think he might actually be doing it even slower now because of that. Whether he realizes that or not is another thing. Oh, how much MP do Garudas have off the top of your head? It's like 60, 70 something.
I think it might be 80.
Oh man.
I
At least
I am going to look this up. I
the
am way
troll
too
is out of
interested.
MP though, so there's one down. Only a handful more to go. So needless to say, this will definitely be a question asked in the interviews.
80.
80 MP. Okay, so we'll have to sit here for 80 attacks for another Garuda.
That's just for this.
Yeah,
Yep. For these first sets, and then he's got to make room for the other ones.
Okay, now
That or go for an earthquake.
yeah, it might actually be faster to just go for an earthquake since he can just skip turns over and over.
Not now.
He needs to get some levels on him. They can't fight back.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't have Arachne anymore.
Yeah, I actually like this play. The Batnell is completely safe. He
And
can
Lady
get
Deme just
really,
arrived to 16.
yeah, he can get some really easy levels. He got 4 levels off of that one. Now he can actually damage the Garudas a bit. He's still immune, so now he can do this a lot quicker. And he can get the levels up on his Batnell at the same time. Czaj thinking ahead. Oh man, it's so bad, but at least he's making the most out of it, getting that free XP on his weakened familiar, which I mean realistically isn't all that weak anymore compared to Ko's level. Certainly weaker than Deme, who's now a
In the
floor
lead.
ahead. Yeah, casually just a floor ahead now after that. And yep, still doing the tile immunity. So Chai's gonna
Another
come out
water
of this.
crystal on 416.
Another one.
Oh yeah.
And now Chai also lost his fighter, so it doesn't matter.
If Chai knew there was 2 water crystals in the seed for his Arachne.
Oh, he'll know soon enough, my friend. In the meantime, Deme coming up on floor 18. Not a particularly bad, nasty room, but definitely not one you really want to see. 2 pickets.
We'll take care of them. Not the quickest. We're
No,
taking care
yeah,
of them, but
definitely not, but it's not exactly terribly costly either. But no, even with the, I mean, pickets are fairly weak to begin with, but even with the elemental advantage, still only taking 1 damage. And we get a pita fruit. Very nice. Opting to not even
got a
bother
brat
with
now.
it. Yeah.
And she already has 2 pita fruits in her inventory.
Water crystal cures all status ailments of your familiars that are outside the bag. So you have lowered attack or defense, it fixes that. It should also fix like confusion and poison and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
It
basically a
also,
cure-all for your familiar as well as a heal.
yeah, it fully restores HP and MP of red and blue collar familiar if they're out when you use it. And going for the picket manipulation, perhaps, on Deme's side. We are. Goodbye, weak ball. We never
That's the
needed
best
you.
use for it.
Pretty much, yeah.
The Garuda's come back.
Yeah, I like what Chai did there. He stopped his Batnel from moving to prevent the Garuda from getting a second turn to try and steal the Batnel away with the abduct. Finally finding an elemental seed. Unfortunately, just a sea seed, so it's not going to be particularly useful to them for changing elements of their familiar, as it's already water. But should they find a water or a wind attack ball, that could come in handy for sure. At this rate, though, it's not looking good for finding any spell balls, let alone a specific one. I was kind of hoping that was a third water crystal. On Deme's side there, floor 19. Deme entering Viper Town for the second time tonight. And getting an egg out of it. Very nice.
That
and
could
the
be a
elevator.
Garuda. This is the final floor.
Yeah, it could be a Garuda, yeah. You don't need that live shield, Deme, yeah. Just toss that away.
Question is, do you bother hatching it?
Of course you do. Well, I mean, you do have a bat now. I can see why you might not.
No, yeah, there's no comparison here, but
no,
floor 20 at 38 minutes. That's my view on this. Like, the hatching is going to take a minute or two. And you don't know where your opponent is placed at this point.
And the egg hatch going so slowly. For those that are unaware, hatching an egg in the tower with the heat up command, I believe it has an equal chance to be +1, 2, 3, or 4 with the heat up. And we were getting several 1s and 2s there, so a little unfortunate on the speed side of, but the nice thing about it is that if she does choose to continue hatching that egg, it will stay at, I think it was around 68 or so %. It'll stay at whatever % she left it off at, so that's kind of nice.
I love seeing what Lady Deme did right there. She moved upside to the Palumpa on her way to the Wee Dog. She looked at it, and then she was like, I don't need to waste a turn on you. And then just proceeded to take the hit while going back towards the Wee Dog.
Why would
I
you
love
want to
Plumpa's
hurt?
presence on this.
Yeah, why would you want to hurt a little lumpy? Oh, please don't miss them, eh? Okay. That Wee Dog had just hit her for 29 with the high ground advantage there. If she had missed, that could have been it.
She's fine.
Wind Seed.
Wind Seed. That I would have immediately used that.
Yeah, that's with being on the water floors.
And she has a CC to switch back.
Yeah, she would lose the advantage of having the stream one. She does not have a golf wand or anything to match that. But like you said, she does have a CC already, so she'd be able to turn back to water whenever she wanted to.
Yeah, mentioning the stream one, I'm actually not even sure if it would be worth it. It might still be, like, type advantage is
23
so huge.
damage.
Oh,
It
don't.
it
I
makes
would
a
have just smacked it.
huge difference starting with a bat now versus obtaining one through fusion. Because the Mule is quite a weak monster, whereas the bat now is actually fairly strong as far as stat gains go.
Holy bell.
Bye,
You
holy
got 2
bell.
holy bells. You don't need it.
I mean, yeah, with this point, I mean, well, you can get rid of that blue sand, yeah, sure.
Yeah. She's got turns. Yeah. Now she has 3 holy bells.
Can you ever have
And she
enough?
used 1 earlier.
Can you ever have enough holy bells?
I mean, I don't really think you ever need more than 2.
Chai
Usually
trying
it's,
to hatch the egg on floor 20 as well, getting more percentage than Deme managed to, who never went back to hatching it actually, so this could
we're
be a
about to
game
see it.
changer for Chai's side. What does he get? Just a picket. Okay. Deme
I
making the
hope she
smart
doesn't
play.
go to...
Yeah, Deme making the smart play, at least for now, opting to not continue hatching that egg. That picket gives virtually 0 use outside of element change. True, I mean, that is also a possibility. Yeah, actually, that is a good point, Plushie. You could fuse the picket for the double attack on Bat now and make him a true fighter. And he has the C seed, so he could turn back it on a whim as well. So yeah, actually, that's probably. I mean, as far as Chai goes, it's definitely it's definitely the best option for him because he already hatched the egg. Now, whether it's worth the time for Deme to hatch the egg is another story.
I'll reflect wind magic.
Fancy.
That's not...
You don't see that every day.
You don't, because it targets your familiar, and then it's reflecting magic, but usually the monsters focus you with that type of stuff. Yeah, don't let it keep following you.
Did Chai just feed his bat now is that a Leva fruit? It said its appearance was fixed.
Maybe? I was not watching. Actually, Lady Demi's having a little bit of a block trouble here.
It being water element and not having any spell walls to really rely on, I mean, that'll happen for sure.
Does she...
Holy
I'm
Bell?
wondering if she knows that they are not paralysis immune. She has the binding ball. Oh wow, and it ended up deciding to come out the same door. It looked like it was headed towards the other door. Oh no.
Oh!
Oh no.
Oh no, oh no.
Oh my.
Wait,
What?
what? What? What is going on?
Does
Deme,
Mirror... she used Mirror on her familiar.
I honestly don't know what just happened there. Deme down on floor 24. Chai also on 24 next to the elevator. As long as nothing... And he has a flame ball, so this should be a guaranteed win for Chai's side. Having said that, though, I have no idea what
That
just
was
happened
so
on
weird.
Deme's side. I have never seen the Batnell spell not hit Ko. I assume it had something to do with the the spell she cast on it, but I don't understand why that would affect who the target of the spell became. That is very interesting for sure. Yeah, right, it reflected its spell, but it wasn't casting... Was it trying to cast a spell on itself? I mean, that would make sense if it was. But Ko was on like 4 HP at the time, so...
But here's... I don't know, because the ball specifically says it reflects wind magic. The Batonelle is not wind. So it shouldn't be reflecting its own.
Yeah. We'll have to
That's
ask...
so weird.
we'll have to look into that a bit more. I am kind of stunned at that, to be perfectly honest. Even if it was, though, Plushie, even if it was trying to cast a spell on itself...
It's casting a water spell.
Yeah, the spell it was being casted was water, and the spell ball that Deme used is supposed to reflect wind magic. So it shouldn't have mattered, as far as that goes. Maybe it's a buggy spell ball, and it's kind of like the U-boats mixed magic, where it says it does one thing, but it does a different one. Man. We'll have to look into that a bit more. The Chai did actually opt to fuse the picket, getting a green Batno in the process. Right, exactly, Shawnee. Perfectly programmed game with no bugs or exploits. Everybody knows that. Yeah, did you let them know that
Yeah, I'm checking to see if they want to do a friendly third right now. Wait, Deme is typing.
No. Chai is not close enough to give him the green light to finish. Unless there is not a friendly third, in which case, if he wants to continue streaming this seed, he can do so on his personal Twitch account, which would be, let's see, runners, oop, yeah, and, yeah. If we don't end up having a friendly third here, we will find out shortly. Hopefully.
They are good for the interview link.
Okay, so we will not have a friendly
Yeah,
third.
no friendly third, Lady Deme. So she's all shot through with nerves.
Yeah, and after that last that last death, I can fully understand. I probably wouldn't want to play a third one after that either. Let's see if we can get them in here quickly. Let's invite Chai and Lady Deme. Alright, so chat, if you have any questions for either of the runners, now is your chance to get them in, and we will read them off. Hello, Deme and Chai.
Hello, hello.
Congratulations to both of you.
Good job.
Yeah.
Chai?
That second seed was funny one. I was so happy when I saw a spider. It's my favorite monster, and it failed me because it was wind. And
I know.
it also saved
Did the
me.
same thing happen to you?
I think it was floor 14 or no 16,
16.
where I
Then
was.
yours lasted longer than mine did. Mine died like 2, 3.
Oh.
Just a flame looked at it and said, "Yeah, no, you're using the Batnel. You're using the Batnel, Demi. That's how that works."
I'm quite sure Revan is happy about that.
I'm sorry, guys. I put that one on you. I suggested in commentary using Arachne into Batnel, having Batnel win, obviously. And neither of you opted for the fusion method. Both went straight Arachne. Deme lost Arachne super early, which wasn't terrible, because you did start with a streamlined. She was able to get
Yeah,
the bat now up.
that
a
was
couple levels
nice.
and be able to kind of power through. Chai, you had a really, really difficult climb using the spider. Then, getting into actually a question from chat here, Chai. We heard you like Garudas.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what happened was for you, Deme, I got pincered by 3 Garudas from left side, and 2 Garudas and a sword troll from the right side. And my spider was wind, very, very heavily under level because I was thinking, okay, I will find the Hayzak herb somewhere. I will. And I did it. I was, I think, level 6.
Sure. By that point, I had found at least 1 water crystal.
I didn't find that. I was going.
I died
would
with
say,
like 2 of
fairly
them in my
quickly.
inventory.
So yeah, in the end, Spider did save me. I used tile immunity glitch and had to wait until everything like lost MP around me, and sort of I actually used that chance because then I could take out Batnel and level up because at level 1 it's not that powerful. So I think I got to level 9 or 10 by killing all of these monsters, and technically I was good to go again. But I did lose like 5 to 10 minutes there for that one floor. That was
Yeah.
horrible.
Up
But
until
we
that
weren't
point,
that far apart.
yeah, up until that point, I think Chai, you had like a 4-ish floor lead, and by the time you were done leveling up your bat, now Deme was just like 2 floors ahead of you.
Yeah, well,
So yeah, you
immunity
definitely,
glitch. We don't use it really in the tournament settings
No.
unless absolutely necessary.
and that's
First
actually
race.
That's actually a funny thing that we mentioned in chat. The Tumna glitch is not something that you really see all that often in like a speedrunning sense, but we actually saw it perform twice tonight in 2 completely different manners, and we saw it actually kind of backfire on Deme's side.
A little bit, yeah. Stupid
Yeah.
holy scroll volcano.
Oh, it worked on your tile?
Yeah, it
Yes,
undid
it walked
the
on my
tile.
tile.
Oh, yeah. And then I think it cancels out the glitch, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
So that second seed, as much as I loved the monsters inside that, was cursed. I was hoping to find, like, first of all, some Hayzak and something to change the spider. Spider is amazing, but starting as a wind is horrible.
For like the 3 seconds, I was at once enjoying and also very frustrated by the paralysis mixture magic, but it was just not cutting it. Until, like, honestly, the Battle was at the particular time and place a little bit of a step up. But in the end, I got zooed, so what you gonna do?
Yeah,
I got
what can you
zooed
do?
like a step from the elevator. If it had gone for an attack, I'd have been fine.
And as
Oh.
far as that goes, Deme, Septic and I were actually pretty stunned by what happened. We actually don't know what happened because the spell that you used is supposed to reflect wind magic. So even if the bat now was
Reflecting water magic. So that was really weird, right?
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's kind of weird.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
the description said it reflects wind
It reflects
magic.
wind
but
magic.
If
And
you're
you
talking
also-
about
the
the
other-
mirror, I've
Clearly
got it up now.
reflecting water magic. That's clearly
Yeah,
what was happening.
It must be a
Yeah.
typo or something along those lines. If it had
Programming bug, randomizer.
I
But
know
there's another layer to this though, because that Batnell, the zoo went to immediately hitting you twice, I believe. And that's when the Batnell started casting. Shouldn't it have been casting it on you instead of on itself?
That's a good question. All I know is that it was hitting the block, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like it was just going back towards the block and trying to heal it. It was so
we'll
Which
have
weird.
is
to-
weird.
Yeah, Chai's actually looking at it right now and on the screen. It's anti-wind mirror. So it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense at all. We'll have to look into that a bit more later, for sure. But Deme, we have a question for you from chat. Before your Arachne died, how were you feeling about the MP consumption of it?
Not great, but I think it's less not great that I was like, let's worry one step at a time. And there was a limited number of things I could worry about. So I figured I would find something. And I didn't, but I would have. I found lots of things that it felt like, boy, this would have been useful if I had that spider.
Yeah, and
Yes, water crystal number 3 and pita fruit number 4.
yeah,
It's like,
it
well,
was like a floor
thanks.
or two after your spider died, you found the water crystal, and the same thing happened to Chai. He lost his spider on floor 16, and I believe you found a water crystal on floor 17, Deme.
Mm-hmm.
So it just adds insult to injury after the fact.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's when the
But I
Spidey
was-
would be useful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I was otherwise like that. I was really enjoying that first seed.
Yeah,
Oh.
I did want to kind of backtrack about that. How did you guys feel about the first seed? Because I know you guys went kind of different routes. Deme, you never really switched your clown off of wind magic, and you were able
I don't
to...
think I ever actually found anything. Well, I mean, I could have fused. I hadn't thought about that part. No, wait. What was in the egg was a noise. I couldn't have fused.
You did
No,
find
but-
a
Yeah,
balloon
there
egg.
was a
Balloon
balloon
egg,
egg.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. The balloon egg. Okay.
But
Yeah,
you
it
were...
just didn't occur to me. I didn't even think about it.
And Chai actually hatched the balloon and went fire stretch for a while, and eventually changed to water. But both of you were actually able to fully encompass the elemental triangle. Demi, you found a pillar ball early that Chai completely missed, and eventually you've had like a
Good luck
Noah
with
Brid, and I think it was Nia Breath. So you guys had
Yeah.
the full triangle covered as on spell balls alone, and you had a really powerful mixed magic. So how do you guys feel about playing that seed? It's not very often that you see the full spectrum like that.
It was fun. I was having a lot of fun until the part where I died, which now I actually can't remember. It was probably one of those things where you just sort of get pincered. That is my guess of what happened, because I completely forget.
Yeah, I always enjoy clown because that's the moment where I can finally pay back to all of the monsters. Now I can bully them rather than bullying me. So, because you can do it from the distance many times so easily. Of course, as long as you don't get pincered. So, with the clown, my head immediately starts thinking, okay, extra safety. If I see a monster, I kill a monster so that I don't get into a situation where I am pincered, right, and just step away. So the time that was clear, it was like 50 something minutes. It wasn't the fastest in the tournament. We've got clears under 40 minutes. But yeah, clown is extra safe and extra fun to play. And it was supposed to be the same with spider if I was able to recover its attack. Especially that I don't know that you get that, Deme, but I think on floor 20 there was a picket egg. I had
I did.
Yeah, I had a battle in my head. Go ahead.
Part of actually, I think the picket egg was used at a point before or the zooing, but there was also 2 blocks in the area, and one of those might have been chasing me from when I tried to pick it, but maybe not.
Yeah, having a pick at this double attack on a Spidey and double speed, that would have just crushed everything. In the end, I was thinking, should I hatch it? I already lost so much time on that floor 16 where I had to tile immunity do, and then no, 20 can be still a Garuda. If Deme found it, I'm done for. So better check it. But when it was the picket, I was like, okay, that's not bad. I was at the time water Batnel, and I was thinking, I found a C seed. I will mainly have to deal with water monsters now. Why not go to wind while at the same time getting double attack? And that worked for me. Like now my Batnel is what, floor 25, wind, double speed, quite good attack, and at some point I would have gotten water. So yeah, I think that was like quite nice find.
All right then. Septic, you have anything you would like to ask or say?
I think that covers it.
All right. I think that is going to be it for us tonight. We will
Mhm.
have more Azure Dreams for you on Saturday. We have 2 matches scheduled currently, one for 2 p.m. and one for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Chai will be moving on in the tournament. Deme is unfortunately no longer in the tournament. You both played incredibly well tonight, though, and I think you'll both get a kick out of watching the other suffer in watching the playback here. But like I said, that'll be for us tonight. Did you want to say something, Deme?
No, I was just saying that probably will be a lot of fun. Good night, everybody.
Yep. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.